Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to unpack complex ideas, aiming to get you well informed quickly.
Glad to be here.
Today, we're jumping into a book that, well, it's really changed the game for how millions think about money and, financial freedom.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. It's definitely made waves.
It really has. So the book is basically a story, right? It's about Kiyosaki's two main influences.
Yeah, his actual dad, who is highly educated but struggled financially, the poor dad.
Right. Champion school, good grades, safe job, the whole traditional path.
And then there was his friend's dad, the rich dad. Less formal education, but street smart, business savvy.
Exactly. And their advice, totally different. Polar opposites, really.
One saying, get a secure job, climb the ladder, retire.
Well, the other was all about financial education, making your money work for you, building assets.
That's the core conflict.
So our mission today is to kind of pull out the key lessons from these different viewpoints. We want to understand that mindset shift the book is pushing.
Makes sense. Let's dig in.
Okay, so where do we start? Maybe with Rich Dad's foundational lesson, the big one.
You mean the idea that the rich don't work for money?
Yes, that one. Money works for them. It flips the script on how most of us are taught to think.
It really does. Poor Dad's perspective was, well, normal for many. Get a salary, look for raises, promotions.
Secure the paycheck?
Right. But Rich Dad argued that just chasing a bigger salary, well, it's like being on a hamster wheel. You're not actually getting ahead.
Can you give an example of that, like how he saw it?
Sure. Think about it like this.
Yeah.
You earn, say, $5,000 a month. Good money.
Okay.
But if your expenses eat up that whole $5,000 every month.
Yeah.
Bills, lifestyle, everything.
You end up with zero left over.
Exactly. Nothing's growing. But what if you took some of that, maybe even a small amount, and invested it?
Like into?
Could be anything that generates more money. A small rental property bringing in monthly rent, maybe some stocks that pay dividends.
Something that works even when you're not actively working.
Precisely. That money becomes like an employee, working 24/7, even when you're sleeping or on vacation. It's about making your capital productive.
That's a huge mental shift,
Yeah.
moving from just earning to making your money earn.
And that shift, leads directly in the next big thing.
Yeah.
Financial literacy. You can't make money work for you if you don't understand money itself.
Right. So what did Rich Dad mean by financial literacy? It wasn't just about, like, balancing a checkbook, was it?
No, not at all. It was deeper. It was about understanding, fundamentally, where money comes from, where it goes, and crucially, how you make it grow.
And a big part of that was distinguishing between assets and liabilities, yeah.
Absolutely central. And his definitions were maybe a bit different from standard accounting.
How so?
For Rich Dad, it was simple. An asset puts money in your pocket, period.
Okay.
Like rental income from a property you own, dividends from stocks, profits from business you control, money flowing to you regularly.
Got it. And a liability.
Takes money out of your pocket. Again, simple.
Exactly.
Your car loan payment, credit card debt you're paying interest on, even, and this is the controversial one, your own house, if it's just costing you money each month.
The house example. Poor Dad saw the big house as the ultimate asset, right? The sign of success.
Yeah, but Rich Dad would argue if that house isn't generating income, if it's just mortgage payments, taxes, upkeep, it's actually a liability draining your cash flow.
Wow. So the wealthy focus on acquiring assets, things that generate income.
While the poor and middle class often acquire liabilities, thinking they're assets, that's the core distinction he hammered home.
That idea of assets versus liabilities, it really makes you rethink things, but applying it seems like the hard part.
Oh, definitely. Sounds straightforward, but overcoming that, societal pressure and your own habits,
Yeah.
that's tough.
What pressure? Like keeping up appearances.
Exactly. We're kind of conditioned to see the big house, the nice car as success, even if they're financial drains. Rich Dad's view was about prioritizing cash flow over status symbols.
Makes sense. And that thinking connects to his next piece of advice, doesn't it? Mind your own business.
Yes, absolutely. It flows right from understanding assets.
So Poor Dad's advice was be loyal, work hard for your company, climb that ladder.
Standard career advice. But Rich Dad said, okay, fine, have your job, but your real business is building your asset column. Meaning, even if you work 9 to 5, you need to be actively building something on the side that belongs to you. That's your business.
Like a side hustle or investments.
Could be either or both. Investing your savings in stocks, mutual funds, buying a rental property that's you minding your business. It's about building your own wealth, not just making your boss richer.
It's about ownership of your financial future, separate from your job.
Precisely. Your job pays the bills, maybe,
Right.
but your business, your assets, makes you wealthy.
Okay, so we've got assets, financial literacy, minding your own business. What about taxes? That seems like a big piece most people maybe don't fully grasp.
Huge piece. And Rich Dad's perspective here was, well, quite revealing. He stressed it's not just about making money. It's about legally keeping as much of it as possible.
And how does that play out differently?
He contrasted employees, like his poor dad, with business owners or corporations, like himself.
How so?
For employees, the typical flow is earn income, pay taxes first, then spend what's left.
Right, taxes come right off the top.
But for a corporation or someone operating through one, it's different. The business earns income, pays its legitimate expenses first.
Like salaries, rent, supplies.
All that, and then pays taxes on the profit that remains. It's a different sequence with big implications.
So the corporation structure offers like a way to shield income legally by paying expenses before tax.
In essence, yes. Rich Dad saw corporations as a tool the wealthy use legally to minimize their tax burden, understanding the rules of the game. Employees often don't have access to those same mechanisms.
That's a powerful insight into structuring things. It feels like we're moving into more strategic thinking now.
Definitely. Which leads nicely into another, maybe more abstract idea from Rich Dad.
Which is?
The idea that the rich invent money.
Okay, invent money. That sounds almost magical. What does he actually mean by that? You can't just print it.
No, not literally printing it. It's more about mindset and seeing opportunities where others don't.
Okay, explain that.
Well, Poor Dad's view was that money is finite, something you get from your job, your salary. That's the source.
Limited.
Right. But Rich Dad believed money is really an idea, that opportunities to create wealth are everywhere if you're educated and looking for them. You can create deals, structure situations.
Can you give an example?
Think about, say, a stock market dip or crash. Most people panic, right?
Yeah.
They see risk, they sell, they run away.
Fear takes over.
Exactly. But someone with financial literacy, Rich Dad's kind of thinking, sees that volatility differently. They might see it as a chance to buy valuable assets, good companies, at a discount.
So they invent money by capitalizing on a situation others flee from, using their knowledge.
Precisely. It's about recognizing or creating opportunities through financial intelligence and, importantly, managing your fear and taking calculated risks.
Managing fear. That seems key. And seeing opportunities, which I guess requires certain skills.
Absolutely. And that brings us to another core lesson. Work to learn, not just to earn.
Okay, contrast that with Poor Dad again.
Poor Dad valued deep specialization. Become an expert in one thing, get really good at your job function.
Makes sense for climbing the corporate ladder.
It does. But Rich Dad advocated for learning a broader range of skills, things essential for building a business or investing successfully.
Like what?
Like understanding accounting, investing principles, marketing, sales, negotiation, maybe even basic law. He wanted Kiyosaki to learn how the whole system worked.
Didn't Kiyosaki himself take jobs specifically to learn skills? Like sales?
Yeah, famously, he worked for Xerox not for the pay, which wasn't great, but purely to overcome his shyness and learn how to sell. He knew that skill was vital.
So the message is, don't just chase the highest salary. Look for jobs or experiences that teach you valuable, transferable skills for building wealth.
Exactly. Think about someone with an MBA who only uses it to manage one department for a salary versus someone who learns sales, understands balance sheets, maybe tries a small venture. The second person is building a personal empire of skills.
That makes a lot of sense. It's about building your capability, not just your immediate income.
Right. The learning becomes the real asset in the long run.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground from the book. Let's try and boil this down for someone listening. What are the practical steps, the takeaways?
Sure. I think the first, and maybe most important, is commit to your own financial education. Really learn about accounting, investing, markets, taxes. Don't just rely on advisors.
Right. Understand it yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. Second, actively focus on acquiring assets. Things that generate income. That could be rental properties, dividend stocks, building a side business, whatever fits you.
So shift focus from just earning to owning things that earn for you. Number 3, control your liabilities. Be ruthless about unnecessary debt, especially high-interest debt, and watch those lifestyle expenses. Make sure they aren't consuming all your potential investment capital. Don't buy liabilities thinking they're assets.
Good one. Keep the outflows in check. What's next?
Develop multiple streams of income. Relying solely on one paycheck is risky in today's world. Diversify where your money comes from.
Yeah, that seems crucial. And maybe one more.
Manage your emotions, especially fear and greed. They drive so many poor financial decisions. Learn to think logically and strategically about money, even when markets are volatile or you get a sudden windfall.
Train your mind, essentially. Great summary. So, reflecting on the whole book, what's the absolute core message?
I think it boils down to this. Financial well-being, even richness, is largely a choice. It stems from a mindset shift and taking responsibility for your financial education.
Because schools don't really teach this stuff.
Not typically, no. So it's on you. The goal isn't just to have money, it's to make that money work for you, creating freedom. Poor Dad offered the path to job security, maybe. Rich Dad offered a potential path to financial freedom.
It really highlights that contrast, doesn't it? The different definitions of success and security.
Absolutely.
So this deep dive into Rich Dad, Poor Dad, it really puts a challenge out there, I think. It says you can change your financial path, but it starts with education and a different way of thinking.
It's empowering in a way.
Yeah. So the question for you listening is, are you going to keep running on that hamster wheel, just chasing the next paycheck? Or are you going to start taking those steps, maybe small at first, to build assets and make your money start working for you?